Hello Noobsters, it's your boy Granny Cube coming at you today with 7 bikes that are faster than supercars. Here's the challenge. At some point in my long and illustrious time as your leader and knowledge bomb dropper, I, Yammie Noob, said something along the lines of, motorcycles are not faster than cars. If you can drop a link to that video in the comments with a timestamp of where it's at, I will give you a personal shout out in our next video. Because I certainly do not remember where or when I said it. And because I know you fine folks all race to be first, which of course you do, you're on my channel, you gotta go fast, I'll give you a shout out with a special message to the first 3 people who comment with the correct link. Will it be a love confession? Something as salty as the Dead Sea, perhaps? I guess you'll have to wait and find out. Now go forth, my yamsters, go forth and find that which with ye seek. But after this video, of course, because it's gonna be pretty dope. I haven't even told you the best part about this yet. All these bikes are under $5,000. The reason I did this is to show you that motorcycles have the best dollar to performance ratio of any motorized vehicle, hands down. And as a former student of economics, didn't know your old Yammie had an econ degree, did ya, huh? I am all about maxing my utility curve, baby, and Lord Rossi demands that we hit the apex of that utility curve. I just combined econ and bikes. Rad. Now, an important thing to note before we get started, you're gonna wanna make sure you're subscribed. I realize that's an annoying cliche, your sweet yam tells you to subscribe in every single video, but seriously, the only way to make sure that you can mainline this content is to subscribe to the channel. And there's also a surprise coming on Friday. And if you can't wait for that long, be sure to check out my Instagram. I'm at Yammie Noob. It's super easy to find. All right, let's get started. Finding bikes that are faster than supercars leaves a lot of variables up for grabs, so for timing purposes, I've placed some stipulations on our lab work. 1. The supercar we will use as our control car is the McLaren 570S. We're going to use the McLaren since it's a pretty high-end supercar, but it's not built exclusively for racing or driving in a straight line to achieve such impressive speeds. We could have compared these bikes to a Porsche. That was weird. A Porsche 918 Spider or a LaFerrari, but those are more the hypercar variety. To put that into perspective, the Lamborghini Aventador is slower than the McLaren, and that's a pretty impressive car. It's also, let's say, a cultural nexus point right now. The 570S is a benchmark car in the entry-level supercar category. 2. All bikes must be under $5,000. 3. In order to be considered, the bikes must meet, match, or beat, or come within 1 second of the 570S's 0 to 60 times or its quarter mile. Matching, beating, or coming within 1 second of our control car's times will put our motorcycles at either beating out lower-end supercars, or they're gonna match the higher-end one cars as well. So falling anywhere within that range puts these bikes ahead of at least one supercar in the race. Another thing to note is that unless you're talking super controlled drag race conditions, there's lots of driver variability too. A good rider who's lightweight and can shift very quickly can see faster times than a heavier rider who isn't on his or her A game. Same for the car driver, although with automatic transmission, that makes the task relatively simple in the car. Now that we've got that settled, let's take a look at our chosen control car. The 570S. Let me wipe that mystery fluid off the screen for you. Is it drool? Is it super concentrated gooch juice? Who knows? I'm not telling. Can you blame me? Look at the body on this thing. That is a sexy car. The starter price tag on this babe is a cool $188,000, $208 if you opt for the convertible. And those are the base models. The 570S clocks an impressive 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds and 0 to 124 in 9.5. And it does the quarter mile in 10.7 seconds. Now that's pretty quick. So what bikes could top those numbers and slide in at $183,000 less than the McLaren? Well, boys and girls, meet our contenders for today. Behind door number 1, it's a 1998 CBR 900 RR. The 1998 Honda CBR 900 offers an impressive 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and it's gonna pull the quarter mile in 10.8. What's more impressive than that? The fact that you can snag one of these in pretty good shape for around $1,700 bucks. The 1998 CBR is an old school, almost later bike that screams 90s inline 4 fun. You might run into some rust or gooch juice or any manner of things on a 90s sport bikes, but if you can score one in decent shape, know that you'll be neck and neck with a McLaren 570S. Legend has it, and if my memory serves correctly, that our hentai Hornet actually has the same mill as this motorcycle, albeit in a detuned, more streetable variety. This baby's gonna run, I swear to God, guys. It's gonna do it. And now behind door number 2, it's a 2004 ZX10R. A 2004 ZX10 can run 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, and it dominates the quarter mile in 10 seconds flat. That puts it within spanking distance of the McLaren by 0.7 seconds. Those are some serious ninja skills. This one is on the high end of the price range, but you can find them for under $5K. They're more difficult to find than most of the bikes we're going to talk about today, but if you do manage to come across one, they're worth every penny. A mid-2000s leader bike, in my opinion, is one of the best bang for bucks, because you're still getting something that likely has some more updated tech than their 90s counterparts, and it's going to feel much more modern. Another thing is that once you're done spanking the McLaren at the drag strip, you can take this baby out to a proper track and rip around all day long. Let's check out what's hiding behind door number 3. It's a 2000 Suzuki Bandit 1000. You can find these on Cycle Trader and similar websites for about 2,000 bucks. Suzukis are among the most reliable motorcycles, so you can still find these in great condition. Yes, it's a 19-year-old motorcycle, but it's still a 19-year-old motorcycle that will outrun a supercar. The 2000 Suzuki Bandit clocks in at 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat, which puts it within 0.3 seconds of our control car. The quarter mile time for the Bandit is 11.2 seconds, which means the Bandit is hanging with our McLaren and Smoke and Lamborghini Aventadors. And remember, with a lighter, more gifted rider, and by gifted I mean skilled at riding, not gifted like he's in the accelerated program at his elementary school, although a 4th grader would make a pretty gnarly power to weight ratio on a leader bike. I'm now envisioning a North Korean style regime where we train kids to ride motorcycles as fast as possible, and wait a minute, that's MotoGP, that already exists. An honorable mention here is the Suzuki B-King as well, which is more than 5 Gs, but in case you don't know, it's literally a naked variant of the Hayabusa. It's literally a naked Hayabusa. I must ride one day. Now today's episode is all about bikes and cars, 2 wheels and 4 wheels living together in harmony. And you know who else is doing that? Optima. You know why? Because they now offer motorcycle warranties too. What? Yeah, I chatted with Alex, the founder over at Optima, and he said you guys were hitting them up so much about bikes that they started to offer aftermarket motorcycle warranties. In case you've missed my last spots about these guys, they're a startup out of Utah who provide cost-sharing alternatives to warranties. Now, what does that mean? It means that you don't pay a huge amount upfront for a warranty. Rather, it's a pay-as-you-go, super simple, cancel anytime sort of thing, like Netflix. Best of all, if you don't file a claim, you can get cash back. Optima's offering motorcycle warranties to any Big 4 bike. That's Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha, and Harleys as well. So if you have any one of those makes, hit up Optima in the link in the description below and get started. Yam went out to bat for you fine people and got Optima into the motorcycle game. So help them help Yam find a cure for baldness by clicking the link below and checking it out. I'll definitely be getting one for my future bikes. And if possible, hooking up our beginner bike giveaway winners with a free warranty too. Back into it. Now let's see door number 4. It's a 2002 GSXR1000. That is a mouthful. Beautiful, beautiful mouthful. Wait. Suzuki's killing it on our lab track. The 2002 GXR comes within 1/10 of a second of the McLaren on its 0 to 60 time. And it leaves a quarter mile in 9.9 seconds. You better keep your eyes on this one on race day because it's gonna pull away from you. Riders who own a GSXR1000 are aware of what they got, and they've held their value pretty well. You can find these bad boys for around 4,500 bucks, so that's not bad for a certified squid missile. The K1 and K2 generation of the GXR is one of those bikes that belies its claimed crank horsepower and seems to pull just that little bit extra harder. Up next, we'll be checking out to see what's behind door number 5. Surprise, surprise, another champion from the Big 4. It's a 2003 R1. It's not going to be the fastest at 10.7 in the quarter mile, but it's definitely going to hang on when it takes off. The R1 hits 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat, so you might not be in it for the long haul, but with some solid riding skills, you can still take home a title. I found several of these on my old buddy Craigslist for around 3,500 bucks or so, and a brief glance at Cycle Trader pulled up a few as well, so if you're in the market, you should be able to find one relatively easily. The only thing about these early gen R1s is they do not come with that cross-plane crank, which gives the R1 its signature sound. Actually, matter of fact, let's hear that. I'd say we should retitle this episode 7 Big 4 bikes that are faster than supercars, but I promise there's at least one bike on this list that is not Japanese. At least I hope there is. Come on, door number 6. It's a 2002 Suzuki VStrom 1000. Seriously. The Big 4 claims another door, but at least it's less than $3,000 with a 3.60 to 60 time. I'd be lying if it said it didn't deserve a spot on our list. That quarter mile time is a little slow at 11.6 compared to the other bikes, but an 11.6 quarter mile is nothing to scoff at. It just seems slow when you compare it to the rest of the sport bikes we've got on this list. And while the VStrom is certainly the ugliest bike on this list, can you believe this thing can rip a quarter mile in 11.6 seconds? Jesus Christ, that's kind of crazy. Okay, we've got one door left, one bike, one sport bike to rule them all. Show us what's behind door number 7. It's a Triumph, sweet mother of Rossi. It's a 2006 Triumph Speed Triple. I've got to be honest, this is the best door we've ever opened. And no, certainly not biased at all. The 2006 Triumph Speed Triple can go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and while they're usually more expensive than their Japanese counterparts, you can catch these for an average of $4,000. I've found some fluctuating between 3 and 4 Gs depending on the location and the condition, but the average is about $4,000, which puts this bike triumphantly below our $5,000 requirement. Triumphantly. I wasn't able to find conclusive results on the time for the 2006 Speed Triple, but I'm going to put it in the ballpark of 11 seconds since that's what the 2003 Speed Triple clocked in at. Speed Triples are known for their ungodly amounts of torque from that big bore triple cylinder. If you've never ridden one, do yourself a favor and borrow, beg, steal, and jump in the saddle of one of these bad boys. They rip. And now we move on to this week's segment of Comments of the Week, where I find from my latest uploads some of my favorite comments that I've seen. Papa does try to read all of them and respond to the ones I like. If you want to be featured, there's only one way to do it, and it's to write something below. Let's check these out. Tuyet2 writes, we should all send emails to Triumph so they will sponsor Daddy Noob. As much as Papa appreciates the support and would love a Triumph sponsorship himself, something tells me that that will never pan out. Just a feeling deep down in my soul type of thing, you know? Sophisticrat4 writes, you look like a male stripper. I take this as a compliment. Have you seen male strippers? Those guys are ripped and handsome. So I appreciate it, my dude. And last we have Wolfheart158 who writes 15 seconds in and I already nutted. I'm not proud, but I love them clammy pubes. I too also get weird bonus from reading my comments, so I've definitely nutted to some stranger things, like hentai bikes, not the TV show. That's gonna do it for today's show. Thanks for joining, thanks for playing, thanks for coming back to see my sweet, sweet face, and I'll see you guys next time. PSA, keep in mind that while these bikes are moderatively easy to come by and pretty cheap for the most part, they are not gonna be the best choice for beginner riders. You wouldn't turn a freshly licensed 16-year-old loose in a McLaren, and the same's gonna go for these bikes. Please don't let excitement and ego get in the way of responsible riding. We all wanna bust a dank woolie or test it off a red light occasionally, but be safe out there, my dudes. Papa Yam just feels a sense of responsibility now that the channel's kinda grown a little bit bigger. Just in case you didn't know, 2019 is the official year of the Yamster. You didn't know that? Bro, you gotta brush up on your astrology. Let's get some crystal energy up in here. Let's align our chakras, my dude. In 2019, we're gonna push more motorcycle content than you know what to do with, which means your workday binges are about to get a lot more interesting. You're welcome. To keep up with all the great stuff we got planned for 2019 here at Yammie Noob, be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button below if you'd like to get real-time notifications when we post videos. Why wouldn't you go ahead and click on the bell right next to the subscribe button too? You get notified. You can beat all these people at the front, get your notifications on, get in the front of the line, all the things. Yammie Noob! Fact, there are more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet. That's disgusting. Go take a shower. Goodbye.